Researchers figured out why kids get stuck in chronic nightmare loops, and the treatment insight is genuinely surprising. A designer spent 6 years turning a college bedroom sketch into the most talked about airplane seat concept in years, and a 68-year-old pizza delivery driver made a 3-minute detour to buy a customer a Diet Coke, and as a result is now heading into retirement. While everyone was busy arguing about taxes today, and yes, it's tax day, happy tax day, a holiday that has been universally disliked by every demographic across every era since the founding of the Republic, a bunch of other things happened. I went looking for them. This is News Side Quest. Researchers at the University of Oklahoma and the University of Tulsa have published a new model for treating chronic nightmares in children. It comes with an insight I hadn't thought about before that I think is actually useful for adults too. The key observation is this: a nightmare is a bad dream that you wake up from. If you don't wake up, the brain is doing its job. It resolves the fear within the dream. But when a child wakes up from a nightmare, they can't resolve it. They're trying to escape it. And that escape response is what causes the cycle to repeat. In the researchers' own words, it's a child's response to a nightmare that causes the chronic nightmares to happen. The treatment model they've developed is called darkness. Yes, really. And rather than focusing on the content of a nightmare, it looks at a broader set of factors, like how a child interprets the dream, worries about going to sleep, anxiety at bedtime, and how they cope after waking. Treatment might mean reducing bedtime anxiety for one child, improving sleep habits for another, or using exposure-based therapy like describing, writing about, or drawing the nightmare, and then working with the clinician to actually rewrite it. At the center of the whole model is something they call nightmare efficacy, the idea that children can learn skills to master their nightmares rather than be mastered by them. One of the co-authors says when children feel empowered to do something about the nightmares, everything else improves too. They sleep better, they have more energy, they attend school more consistently, and parents report improved behavior. What I found interesting is the distinction they draw between this and insomnia. With insomnia, people are afraid they won't sleep. With chronic nightmares, children are afraid they will sleep. That's a fundamentally different thing to treat. I don't think I've ever had a classic nightmare. My dreams are mostly third person, like watching a movie, which is probably something about me I'd rather not examine too closely. I did actually get to the closing credits of a dream once, though. The closest I came was a bout of sleep paralysis, which is genuinely terrifying in a way that's hard to explain if you haven't actually experienced it. And I once had a dream where dinosaurs were roaming my neighborhood, which never crossed the line into frightening. It was just weird and sort of majestic. I want to live vicariously through your torment. What is your most memorable nightmare? One that either woke you up convinced it was real, or that stuck with you for days or maybe years, or that was so specific and strange it just became a story you tell.
Oh, wow. I just had the weirdest dream. You know you're driving, right?
A Spanish designer has been working on the same airplane seat concept since he sketched it out in his college bedroom in 2020. And this week he unveiled what he's called the ultimate final statement version of it. It's called the Chase Lounge, and if you've been on the internet in the last 5 years, you've probably seen it mocked, debated, or shared with some version of "this can't be real." Here's how it works. The concept removes the overhead compartments entirely. It uses the vertical space to create 2 levels of seating, a top row and a bottom row. The bottom row is designed so that the passengers can fully stretch out and enjoy dramatically more legroom. The top row offers larger angles for reclining and leg stretching capability compared to standard economy seats. The thing people fixate on when they see it is the bottom row. It looks like you're in a low-ceiling bunk, and the claustrophobia concern is real and legitimate, especially on an airplane. CNN Travel actually tested early prototypes and concluded that while the lower level is definitely claustrophobic, the increased legroom could cancel out that for many passengers. Now here's the part that makes this economically interesting. The designer has always said the goal is passenger comfort, not capacity. He's not trying to cram more people in. But he acknowledges that increased passenger capacity is actually a potential draw for airlines. The business model writes itself. Airlines charge a premium for the bottom row, which is effectively a lie flat seat at economy prices, and the top row stays roughly what you would pay now. Airlines win because the configuration is potentially more profitable. Passengers win because the range of options improves. No airline has committed to actually using it yet. Retrofitting aircraft is expensive and slow, and safety approval processes are lengthy. But Airbus has been sniffing around the idea, and the designer is hoping to secure partners at the Aircraft Interiors Expo this year. I'll bet the cosplay at the Aircraft Interiors Expo is amazing. This is the first airplane seat concept I've seen in years that feels like it was designed for passengers rather than against them, which means the industry will probably find a way to ruin it, but let's enjoy the concept while it exists. So if the Chase Lounge makes it to production and you're booking a flight, which row do you take, top or bottom? And what would you pay for it?
What kind of plane is it?
Oh, it's a big, pretty white plane with red stripes and curtains in the window and wheels, and it looks like a big Tylenol.
On the evening of March 27th, a 68-year-old Domino's delivery driver named Dan Simpson was working on a Friday night shift in Boise, Idaho. He had an order for a pan pizza and a Diet Coke, but his store had run out of Diet Coke. He called the customer, Brian Wilson, to ask about a substitute, but got no answer, and left the store to make his delivery. Then on the way, he drove 100 yards out of his route, walked into a convenience store, and bought 2 liters of Diet Coke himself out of his own pocket before finishing the delivery. Brian Wilson's wife caught the exchange on their Ring camera. In the video, Dan explains what he did, and Wilson offers to increase the tip, but Dan refuses. And then Dan mentions, almost in passing, that he's retiring in 26 days after 14 years of delivering for Domino's. The Wilsons posted the video on TikTok. It got 3 million views. Comments started suggesting a GoFundMe, so they started one, calling it Tip for Dan the Pizza Man's Retirement. What neither Dan nor the rest of the internet knew at the time was the fuller context. Brian Wilson and his wife are both visually impaired. She's legally blind. He is limited to daytime driving only. Running out to the store for a quick pickup is not simple or easy for them. What Dan did in 3 minutes would have required significant effort for them to do it themselves. The GoFundMe has now raised over $150,000. Dan is 24 years sober. He works a day job at the Idaho State Department of Agriculture as a seed analyst. The Domino's gig was always the second job. One of his longtime dreams is to visit the redwood forests. He plans to keep delivering pizza even after retirement because, as he put it, I really like the kids I work with. You know, an old guy's got to stay active. There have always been people like Dan doing small things for their own reasons with no audience, and the internet, which we've spent a lot of time this week pointing out can make us anxious and angry and isolated, occasionally does exactly something like this. It finds someone who deserves to be seen and makes sure they are.
Are you crying? Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying.
A Florida surgeon has been indicted after removing a patient's liver instead of their spleen. Listen, if you had to identify your own liver or spleen in a police lineup, you probably couldn't do it. Both are reddish-brown, both are in approximately the same neighborhood, and only one of them is actually essential for survival in the short term. The liver is, for the record. This has gone from a medical error to a criminal matter, which is a reminder that some mistakes have consequences that outlast the apology.
He's sorry, see? He's sorry. That makes everything all right. He's sorry.
A Louisiana man was arrested after police found that he had been keeping a personal tally of the times he'd successfully escaped law enforcement. Listen, there's no Bill James of petty crime, and maintaining your own analytics is not a competitive advantage when the opposing team can read the spreadsheet. There are certain hobbies that only make sense as long as they stay private.
That was really stupid.
A Japanese fire department official was suspended after forcing his colleagues to play board games with him while on the clock. My personal nightmare scenario is being unable to leave a workplace until my coworkers and I finish a game of Monopoly. Not because I dislike Monopoly, but because once it becomes mandatory, it stops being a game and becomes a hostage situation, especially Monopoly. The official forced multiple sessions over an extended period. His colleagues reportedly found this deeply unpleasant. That tracks.
Shall we play a game?
A Florida woman presented a Barnes & Noble membership card to a police officer instead of her driver's license during a wrong-way DUI stop. The Barnes & Noble card is, from a certain angle, a respectable attempt. She clearly had it together enough to have a loyalty card for a bookstore. That counts for something. Not enough, though. How did they even know which direction she was going?
You're going the wrong way! What? You're going the wrong way! He says we're going the wrong way!
Oh, he's drunk! How would he know where we're going?
Polls show that most Americans still say their taxes are too damn high. Today's tax day. This finding, that taxes feel too high to most people, has been true across every demographic, every political alignment, and every era since the founding of the Republic. It is the one thing we have all agreed on since 1776. Happy Tax Day. That's it for News SideQuest. 3 questions dangling out there. Your most memorable nightmare, which row of the chaise lounge you'd take and what you'd pay for it, and a time the internet or a stranger surprised you by being genuinely good. Email me at newssidequest@gmail.com or the Substack comments. See you tomorrow.